So this one is more like a business sort of question. What's your opinion on minimum wage? Like, does it, like, okay, for example, minimum wage, I mean, I think it's good for most employees, right? They have some sort of minimum set of things that they can get. Nobody can exploit them, things like that.
Yeah.
But if you're like a startup or a business which is just starting up with low funds, right? A minimum wage is sort of can hinder you from getting more employees, right? The funny thing is, even if two people agree and say, okay, I'm gonna work for you less than minimum wage, it's illegal to work like that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, minimum wage is you can't argue against it within a country. If you are working within the standards and laws of that country, it's part of your human rights to be able to expect fair compensation for that role.
Yeah.
However, in 2025, I think it's an increasingly global economy, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned we were talking earlier about different powers of currencies in different markets, and that's where, thanks to the internet, you can. I don't want to use the term exploit because that's got negative connotations, right?
Yeah.
But you can take advantage of the strength of currency.
We can call it arbitrage.
I don't know that word.
So that's basically you're getting something cheaper in a different market,
right?
Reselling it in higher.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you cannot afford to employ someone in New Zealand dollars, and you're running a New Zealand company, and it is practical and logical for you to employ someone to do exactly the same job to exactly the same standards in the Philippines, for want of a better example.
Yeah.
I think it's you'd be crazy not to do that.
Yeah.
However, from an ethical perspective, if I was to do that, I would certainly want to increase the wage of that employee at the first possible opportunity. So as soon as I could afford to pay them in line with New Zealand standards, I'd want to do that. I think you run the risk of modern colonialism, if we keep going down that path.
Yeah. Okay, so I have another idea. So basically, minimum wage is not percentage; it's actually fixed amount that each person can get per hour.
Yeah.
So, say McDonald's, they have minimum wage, but they make billions of dollars a year profit, right? But how is it fair for a startup to pay the same minimum wage? Or put it this way: if the startup doesn't have any money, have to pay, say, $25, whatever, right? Minimum wage in New Zealand. $20. Yeah. So let's say $20.
Yeah.
$20 minimum wage.
Yeah.
Then McDonald's should pay like $200 or something.
Yeah.
Minimum wage.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because they're getting billions of dollars profit, right?
Yeah.
Because only then of it. Otherwise, it look like you're trying to prevent a startup from trying to come up and compete with McDonald's. Say what if you want to be a McDonald's, another McDonald's, but you can't compete because minimum wage is like a barrier. It's like a gatekeeping you to go in.
Yeah.
What do you think about that perspective?
At the end of the day, these major corporations are going to exploit people, in their first opportunity. No,
I'm just saying that. So if they're getting that much, then they should pay like $200 an hour. Or something.
No, it's
Then it's look fair.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it look like it's like they're trying to not to compete. They're trying to make it so you can't compete with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the day that McDonald's pays $200 an hour.
Then I'll go work for McDonald's.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what are we doing here?
Yeah.